Association. And in the land of the giants, one giant stands out. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, star of films, television commercials, and the Los Angeles Lakers. And the subject tonight of Dick Schaap's scrutiny. Dick?
In his 13 years in the NBA, Hugh, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar has been almost as difficult to profile as to guard. He has spoken candidly on television only rarely, and he has shielded his private life jealously. But now Kareem is changing, and the story of his change is only incidentally a sports story. It is more of a love story. No matter how many times one has seen Kareem Abdul-Jabbar in graceful action, it is always a surprise, always a revelation to see him up close. Physically, of course, he is awesome. 7'2" or maybe more, 235 pounds. So remarkably coordinated, he turns the skyhook, the most celebrated of his athletic skills, into a basketball ballet. But what is even more striking these days is how much more there is to the man.
Bend over the hip joint.
Just as he stretches his muscles in a weekly yoga class, he is stretching his personality, breaking down the wall he began building some 20 years ago to protect himself from cruel curiosity.
You know, I was a 7-foot phenomena. You know, I could have been an ox or anything. You know, it's like, oh, look at that.
Relax.
At last, he is learning to relax, starting to reveal himself, to reveal the human being inside the superstar. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, the perfect blend of size and skill and silky smoothness, may be the greatest basketball player ever. He is the essence of the dominating presence. Offensively, in his finest moments, he is unstoppable. He cannot be intimidated. Defensively, he does the intimidating. He frightens brave men, forces them to change their styles. He guards his team's basket as zealously as for years he guarded his own thoughts, guarded what went on inside his massive frame. The surface was always exposed, always conspicuous. He was always the giant, standing out, in this airport in Philadelphia, or one in Tokyo, or Pakistan, or Libya. Everywhere he went, people asked him the same question.
I know what my height is in about 4 or 5 different languages. In Japanese, it's ni-meter jugo. In Cantonese, it's cha-chet-yi. Metrically, it's 2 meters 15. Siete pied. It goes on and on.
In English, Kareem says he is 7'2", even though opponents swear he is several inches taller than men who are 7'1".
Hey, Phil!
Tall guys, like Kareem, like Wilt Chamberlain, are used to dumb questions.
I remember I was with Wilt one time, and somebody asked him how the weather was up there, and he spit on him and told him it was raining. I haven't been like that with it, but sometimes people don't understand that they're being rude or insensitive. It's just something you have to deal with.
Being unusually tall has made Kareem himself unusually sensitive, an atypical athletic celebrity.
He was different from any man I'd ever met, and he was definitely different from any athlete I'd ever met.
Before Cheryl Pistano met Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, before they began living together almost 5 years ago, she had a preconceived image of athletes.
Arrogant, spoiled, selfish. I mean, when you grow up famous, from the time that you're a child, society treats you like a god.
Kareem Abdul-Jabbar did grow up famous. His name at birth was Ferdinand Louis Alcindor Jr., and his height at every age was extraordinary. He dreamt of being a baseball star, never dreaming that someday he would meet his hero, Jackie Robinson. Never dreaming that someday he would be a young basketball star of such magnitude he would be entertained by Wilt Chamberlain. Kareem's basketball life began here at Power Memorial High School in Midtown Manhattan, only a mile from Times Square. As Lou Alcindor, he led Power Memorial to 71 straight victories. But even though college scouts and sycophants marveled at his skills, not everyone treated him like a god. He was stung when a childhood friend turned on him and called him Blackie. Stung again when his high school coach, in an angry moment, called him nigger.
There were times when I didn't want to be black because of what it meant in this country, but I never wanted to be white. I guess maybe I could have settled for being an Indian or something.
Kareem can smile now, but then he retreated inside the protective wall.
He became, very reclusive somewhat, and very selective of who he would be friendly with.
Lou Alcindor selected UCLA out of hundreds of colleges that offered him scholarships, and he led the school to 3 straight intercollegiate championships. He strengthened his game and his protective wall. He was among the black athletes who boycotted the Mexico City Olympics.
If you live in a racist society, you naturally have to react to racism.
And he aligned himself with such athletic black activists as Muhammad Ali, Jimmy Brown, and Bill Russell. After he turned professional, after he led the Milwaukee Bucks to their only NBA championship, after he won the first of his 6 most valuable player awards, a feat unmatched in professional basketball or baseball or football, then he converted from Catholicism to Islam and changed his name to Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, noble servant of the irresistible. His new religion gave Kareem peace and turmoil. Friends of his, caught in a dispute between Islamic factions, were shot to death in a house he owned in Washington. And rumors spread that Kareem might be the next target.
Yeah, I had no idea if people were trying to kill me or not. That's even worse. I mean, if you know, at least you can go hide somewhere. I had no idea. And I had questions about the way I was being taught Islam that I couldn't get any satisfactory answers to. I was confused.
He wasn't with the people that understood him and his religion at that time. He wouldn't have anything to do with anyone else. And he just was very lonely at that time. Very alone, I should say.
Kareem escaped from Milwaukee after 6 seasons with the Bucks, traded to the Los Angeles Lakers. The climate was better, but not on the court. Kareem felt he was abused, singled out, tugged at, leaned on, pushed, hounded. A few years ago, when a rival named Kent Benson rammed an elbow into his gut, Kareem erupted.
I just decided that if I could just get my breath back, he was going to pay. It was a very frightening experience for me because that's when I realized that I had better control my temper at all times, and no matter what the provocation, I could have killed him. And thinking about that really bothered me.
It may have been only coincidental that a new Kareem, a more open Kareem, began to emerge not long after he collided with Benson. It was not coincidental that the change in Kareem became noticeable after he met Cheryl Pistano.
He's realized that people are talking to him and want to be around him because they love him and they admire him. And I don't think he felt that way before.
She has been a towering influence on Kareem, encouraging him, for instance, to laugh at himself, even on a television show.
Hit it, Fred.
Singing lyrics obviously created for a man of his stature.
I laugh. I love to see him be so human as to not be perfect. Anything to make him just like you and me.
Was there ever a time where you were afraid to make people laugh?
Oh, definitely. I thought that's not what, if you're going to be a dignified black man, you can't do things like that.
At Atari, our game
Now, Kareem is winningly at ease in commercials, endorsing a video game,
Oh, man, what a move.
or endorsing an airline's comfort with an old friend.
Even if you're 7'1" or taller. Little.
Wait a minute. I know you. You're Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
Kareem was also able to have fun in Airplane, a movie which spoofed everything, including Kareem's critics.
I think you're the greatest, but my dad says you don't work hard enough on defense. And he says that lots of times you don't even run down court. And that you don't really try, except during the playoffs.
The hell I don't. Listen, kid. I've been hearing that crap ever since I was at UCLA. I'm out there busting my buns every night. Tell your old man to drag Walton and Lanier up and down the court for 48 minutes.
His critics will not have Kareem Abdul-Jabbar to pick on much longer. He is 35 years old now, and soon his basketball career will end.
I hope that they will appreciate that I'm somebody who's worked hard at trying to do something, my profession, basketball. And along the way, I've tried to learn about what it means to be a good human being. There's a lot more to my life now than there was when I was 23 years old.
This is one of the new things in Kareem's life. Amir Abdul-Jabbar, not quite a year and a half old. He is tall, of course. He is Kareem's son and Cheryl's, a perfect symbol of the new Kareem she has helped to create.
I think that Cheryl has had a great deal to do with his attitude about things today. She believes in family sticking together, you know, and being close. And I think that has helped a great deal.
Now Kareem can walk on the beach with Cheryl, and he can smile with her, and at other times he can cry with her, and he can grow emotionally.
She helped me deal with a whole lot of, the little demons I had inside of myself that I would never let out. I'm not all cured yet, but I think it's a lot healthier situation for me.
Obviously, Cheryl Pastano has had a great influence on Kareem. How did they meet?
The classic boy meets girl way on passing escalators. Hers was going up, his was going down, and because of that, Cheryl says she couldn't tell how tall he was.
Thank you.